Hello again, everyone. It's me, Alex, your nerd to the core, and today I'm your Commander Dad. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite decks of the moment. It's my Sygg River Cutthroat deck. Now, like a lot of my decks, I've thought about putting this one together for a long time, but it took me a while to actually put the cards together. But first, let's talk about the card. Sygg River Cutthroat is a blue and black legendary creature merfolk rogue from Shadowmoor. For hybrid blue-black, it says, at the end of turn, that's any turn, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, you may draw a card, and it's a 1/3. Now, the first time I really saw this card in Commander was way back when I started playing the format, when I moved back to New York City. We would go to a bar, and one of my friends, Dana, had a Sygg deck, and it just blew me away, just playing Control in Commander. And I really wanted to build one myself. Now, for a long time, I was focused on building this around cards like Shrieking Affliction and the Rack. In other words, I wanted to be forcing people to discard cards so I would draw cards. And I never actually put that together because as much as I talked about it, it never seemed fun. It wasn't until this year that I actually put Sygg together, but I did it in a weird way. You see, Sygg is blue and black, but it doesn't have to be both. So what I decided was to build it as a mono black deck. Now, why did I do that? I actually have to talk about a Rakdos card because of this. You see, for about a year, I had a Jasper Flint deck. Now, this is a card from Thunder Junction that lets you play cards off of your opponent's decks. And the deck was great. It did a lot of fun stuff. I got to play some wild games because I was always doing something different. But playing those games, I realized that I never liked when my opponents took my stuff. I didn't like when it happened on a regular basis. You know, one of my least favorite cards, or my least favorite suite of cards, are those that let your opponents steal your cards on a regular basis. And doing that as the main conceit of a deck just stopped seeming fun. But there were cards I did like in the deck. They were the ones that deterred my opponent from attacking me. So I looked at my Sygg, and I thought, what can I do with this card to keep drawing cards and encourage my opponents to attack each other? So that's how I built the deck. This is a deck that is entirely focused on getting your opponents to cooperate with you so you can draw cards and win the game. But how do you do that? Well, let's start with the cards that let me trigger Sygg. These are not all the cards in the deck, but these are some of the emblematic of ones that let me routinely deal 3 damage to my opponents. The first, we have the classic Bloodchief Ascension, a black enchantment from Zendikar that says, at the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Bloodchief Ascension. Then, whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Bloodchief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life, and if you do, you gain 2 life. Again, this is exactly what the deck wants to do. It wants to cause people to lose life, and then it wants them to continue to lose life so you can draw cards. Subversion is one of my favorite cards that I've never had a chance to run until now. It's a 3 black enchantment from Urza's Legacy. During your opponent, each of your opponents loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life for each life lost this way. So, early in the game, you're dealing 1 to everyone and gaining 3. It's playing along the lines of the game. It allows you to advance your game plan of drawing cards while also tacking on the damage. Cryptghast, 3 and a black for a spirit from Gatecrash for a 2/2 with Extort. So every time you cast a spell, you can play a black or a white, in this case a black. And if you do, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life for each life lost this way. And it doubles your mana from swamps. Again, plinking in, dealing 1 damage. Obnixilis of the Black Oath. It's a 3 black legendary planeswalker Nixilis from one of the Commander products and starts with 3 loyalty. I'm not going to read all the abilities because the most important one is +2. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain life equal to life lost this way. Starting to pick up a theme here. The entire goal is to plink in for a little bit of damage each time so you keep drawing cards. You keep doing things to advance your game plan. But why do people let you do that? Well, you have some group hug style cards in the deck. One like Keen Duelist. From the Strixhaven Commander, it's 1 and a black for a 2/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal a top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. You put the card you've revealed into your hand. So you're drawing a card. You get to have an opponent draw a card. That's great, right? But if they lost 3 or more life, you're triggering Sygg. And then here's Saison, Perverter of Truth. From Kamigawa, it's a 3/black legendary creature, Demon Spirit, 6/5. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses 2 life, and they draw 2 cards. So once again, with this out, everyone's losing at least 2 life each turn. And if you're doing your job right and getting them to go at each other instead of you, you're going to be drawing up to 4 extra cards per turn cycle off of Sygg. But how do you get them to attack each other? For one, make it not very profitable to attack you. Now these 4 enchantments make up the pillow fort aspect of the deck. That is, they make it so your opponents are disincentivized to attack you. These 3 I'm going to read together because they're largely the same. You have Hissing Miasma for 1 black, Blood Reckoning for 3 and a black, and Revenge of Ravens for 3 and a black. Now these both say whenever a creature attacks you, its control loses 1 life. This one attacks on Planeswalker. This one says whenever a creature attacks you or a Planeswalker you control, that creature controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So again, if you have these out, it's not that people won't attack you, but it's that if they attack you with 3 or more creatures and Sygg is out, you're going to be gaining life. Now, Cunning Rhetoric is a card that, again, disincentivizes people from attacking you. And it lets me play that style of, if you attack me, I'm going to take something from you. Whenever an opponent attacks you and or 1 or more Planeswalkers you control, exile the top card of that player's library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana of any color as though it were mana of any color to cast it for 2 and a black. Again, we're not saying don't attack us. We're saying if you do, we're going to get some cards. How else do we stop people from attacking us? Make it so it pays to attack other people. Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, 1 black, legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, 3/3. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may pay 1 life. If they do, draw a card. They draw a card. 4 black, I can discard X cards, exile the top X cards at target opponent's library. You may play land cards and cast spells from among the cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. But again, it's really about, hey, Gix is out. Why don't you send those creatures somewhere else so you can draw cards? Gonti, Night Minister, 2 black from Aetherdrift for a legendary creature, Aetherborn Rogue, 3/4. Whenever a player casts a spell they don't own, that player creates a treasure token. Kind of writer text, but whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, a controller looks at the top card of that opponent's library and exiles it face down. They may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell this way. So again, 2 creatures that encourage your opponents to attack people other than you. Ghoulish Impetus is one of 3 enchantments in the deck that goad creatures. This one says 2 and a black for an enchantment or enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has death touch, and is goaded. When enchanted creature dies, return Ghoulish Impetus to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Again, now I'm telling you, you can't attack me with this creature until it's just down to 2 players. But what does that mean? It means that you're going to be dealing at least 1, if not more, damage to one of my opponents each turn. So I'm going to draw a card. Crown of Doom, again from one of the original Commander products. It's 3 colorless for an artifact. Whenever a creature attacks you or a Planeswalker you control, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Except, you can pay 2 colorless. Target player other than Crown of Doom's owner gains control of it. Activate this ability only during your turn. So for 5 mana, I can give this to an opponent. Cast it, give it to an opponent for 2. And then creatures get bigger when they attack them. Now, that just means one person's going to go out of the game faster. It's kind of a hot potato card. It gets passed around the table, but never back to me until players leave the game. Now, the Final Fantasy Commander set and General set gave you Black Mage tokens, which care about casting spells. Now, Sygg is not quite a spell slinger deck, but there are a lot of spells that get cast, and that means that those Black Mage tokens, which deal 1 damage to each opponent, every time you cast a non-creature spell, can pile up the damage real quick. So I have 2 of the cards here. Circle of Power for 3 and a black. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and then create an 0/1 black wizard creature token with that ping text. Also, wizards you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end turn. In the late game, this can do a lot, but really it's just there to put the token into play. Transpose is 2 and a black for an instant that says draw a card, then discard a card, you lose 1 life. If the spell was cast from your hand, create an 0/1 black wizard creature token with that pinging rider text. But it has rebound, so I'm going to draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, discard 2 cards. But I'm going to ping you. And again, Sygg loves dealing chip damage. Finally, we just have some fun cards. Cards I wanted to run because they make me happy, and they allow me to continue to the theme of, well, this is Sygg, and he's going to play with your toys. First, we have Imp's Mischief. 1 and a black for an instant from Planar Chaos. Change the target of a spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Again, really just a fine card. Lets you play some tricks, lets you protect your stuff, and one of those cards that people don't see coming because it's a mono black redirect. Speaking of cards people don't see coming, Withering Boon, 1 and a black for an interrupt. Well, technically it's an instant. It says interrupt on the card from Mirage that says, pay 3 life, counter target summon spell. In other words, as an additional cost to cast the spell, you pay 3 life, counter target creature spell. No one expects this out of black. It is a fantastic option, and really just one of those cards that makes me smile every time I get to do something with it. Like Ritual of the Machine. 2 black for sorcery from alliances. Sacrifice a creature to gain control of target non-black, non-artifact creature. This is a control magic that lets you gain control of just about anything on the board for the cheap cost of sacrificing one of your own creatures. And it's permanent. There's no disenchant to get it back. Honestly, I just like this card because it's old, because it's a little weird, and it lets me do some fun stuff. The fact that there are ways to buy some spells back in this deck, but also just punching your opponent in the face with a card, always makes me smile. A card of their own. Not the hugest fan of certain decks that just try to Voltron their commander all the time, turbo it out, but this lets me stop it a little bit. I'm thinking of one opponent who just loves their Gisela deck. Coffin Queen is 2 and a black for a zombie wizard. You may choose not to untap this 1/1 during your untap phase. If you do, 2 and a black, tap, put target creature card from any graveyard into play under your control. You remove that creature from the game if Coffin Queen becomes untapped or if I lose control of Coffin Queen. There's a decent amount of removal in this deck, so being able to pick off something and then reanimate it on my side, and then eventually just exile it, it's a great bit of graveyard removal, it's a great bit of political tool. Don't attack me, and I won't steal that big creature from your graveyard. Finally, Wandering Archaic, 5 for a colorless creature avatar with a 4/4. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, they may pay 2 colorless. If they don't, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. Sygg is mono black, but it still plays kind of a blue game where I'm trying to take your spells, your aggression, and turn it back on you. I just want to be left alone, draw my cards, do my thing. But the fun comes in is when I get to put all these pieces together and I'm chipping in for 1 damage at a time, 2 damage at a time. I'm destroying your creatures and reanimating them, sending them back at you. Sygg is a deck that I play early in the night because it takes a lot of effort, but what it does, it's rewarding when I can just sit back, not be a threat, and eventually turn the table against themselves. Thanks for listening. I really like this deck. I hope you do too. Next time I hope you challenge yourself to try and build something a little different, a little outside the box, and have some fun with it. Once again, I'm Alex. Thanks for letting me be your Commander Dad. Have a great day.